It's Travis Spencer with Educating Houston, and today's video is top 5 pros and cons of living in Houston, Texas. All right, guys, so we're going to jump into this right away here. So let me pull up the screen to go over our number one thing, which is obviously we're going to start with the cons, okay? We're going to start with the cons, and then we're going to end with the pros. So if you live in Houston, calm down. We're going to get to the great stuff as well, but we're going to start with the cons right now, okay? So the number one con of living in Houston is obviously the humidity. The humidity is absolutely horrible. As some of you may know, I'm from Southern California. We have almost no humidity. Texas, as this article says right here, we're going to go through some articles. This is weather and climate. Now, this is saying here the average annual percentage of humidity is 75% in Houston. Now, here's the thing, you guys. I don't believe that. To me, again, being from Southern California, it feels like it's 100%. Of the time, all the time. The humidity out here is absolutely mind-blowingly awful. So Houston is definitely humid. It takes about 30 seconds to go outside during the summer to get soaking wet. So if you don't like humidity, Texas, maybe live somewhere else in Texas. Maybe Houston's not the place for you. Now, the number two thing, insects. The insects out here are horrible, specifically the mosquitoes. Here's an article right here about the mosquitoes in Houston. Now, the mosquitoes are so bad out here, they actually have vehicles that go around, depending on the subdivision that you live in, spraying for mosquitoes. So, it is bad, but as long as you deed up, as long as you spray, usually you're good. But the mosquitoes are definitely a factor out here. If you do not like bugs, if you don't like mosquitoes, Houston may not be your place. Also, fire ants. Being from Southern California, we didn't have fire ants. Fire ants out here, if you get bit, you blister. Also, biting flies out here. I don't know what's up with the biting flies, like if you go to the beach, but if you deed up, the bug spray does not seem to work. So, if you don't like insects, may not be the place for you. Now, number 3, the extreme weather out here is outrageous. Again, Southern California, it's pretty much in the 70s. I feel like 60s, 70s all year. In Houston, Texas, it gets pretty crazy out here. I've been out here for about 10 years, and I went through Hurricane Harvey. I was actually part of rescuing about 88 people. So to me, the hurricane, and this was more about flooding, but it was absolutely mind-blowing. So if you want to feel safe from weather and extreme weather and just have sunny, maybe Florida's for you. Houston, though, you're going to have to deal with some hurricanes. You may want to get some generators. You're just going to have to be safe, but you're definitely going to have to be dealing with some type of extreme weather, if not flooding. There's winds, but it's definitely something to consider. Now, here's the thing, number 4, and this was a surprise to me, the traffic. So the traffic out here in Houston is super bad. Again, being from Southern California, I was, that's awful traffic sitting on the 5 into downtown LA during rush hour. And even in the IE, it is absolutely horrible. But apparently in Houston, as you see here in this article, let me get this, of course, pop-up comes up. But Houston is the number 3 in the nation with the worst congestion in traffic. So that was a huge surprise to me. But the traffic is bad out here. Not as bad as SoCal or what I'm used to, but according to this article, that it is extremely bad traffic, number 3 in the entire nation. Now, here's number 5. This one's kind of crazy to me. It could be kind of a pro, kind of a con. But Houston and the zoning out here, it's crazy. They have a lack of zoning. Read this article. This article's titled "Houston doesn't have zoning, but there are workarounds." But anyways, the thing that's really wild about Houston and Texas is some of the land is unrestricted, which means you can mix residential and commercial can kind of be right next to each other. So it's really, really wild out here. So if you don't want to live next to a mobile home, have a mansion, the odds are that's very unlikely, but the zoning is really wild. Okay, so those are the top 5 things that I think are the cons of living in Houston. Now let's go into the pros. Here's the thing, I'm from Southern California. I moved to Houston from Southern California. I was born and raised in Southern California. I've been here for 10 years. I'm now married. I have 3 children here. I absolutely love Houston. I wouldn't change it for the world. This is now home, but I had to get the cons out of the way because those are huge cons. And if you live in Houston, you know that. Don't act like they don't exist, okay? But let's go over the pros right now, okay? So, number 1 pro, in my mind, the housing market. Okay, the housing market's absolutely solid. Here's an article that goes into it a little bit. Um, according to Zillow, and Zillow's going through some things right now. Houston's ranked the 12th overall. Okay, that's pretty astonishing if you think about it. But the housing market in Houston is solid for a lot of reasons. What I've learned as well, the state has certain rules where it comes to cash out refinancing, that the maximum you can cash out refinancing your house is 80%. Unlike where I'm from, Southern California, people were cashing out all day, all of their equity of their house. So although frustrating, it is something to consider. It is a very, very solid housing market out here. Houses are still affordable. I still see houses in the 100,000s, 200,000s. When I first got here from Southern California, I was shocked that a $100,000 house could even be built for that much. So solid housing market. Okay. Now, number 2 is the affordability. We can afford to live here. Even though, Houston's ranked, I believe, 39th, okay, which is pretty great for a city. So it's ranked 39th this year, according to this article. But there's a lot of reasons why it's affordable to live in Houston. Again, from Southern California, I felt married to my house payment, married to my rent payment. In Houston, I feel free. I feel like I can afford things, a lot easier. There's no state income tax. When I was in SoCal, the state income tax was absolutely horrible. But now that I'm in Houston, the state income taxes do not exist. So it's very affordable, when it comes to that. All right. So number 3 on the pros list is the job market. Now, here's the thing. Here's an article that, is not saying Houston is the best as far as job markets. It's still a good job market, but here's the thing that I also want to get into in the job market out in Houston. Again, being from SoCal, the job market out here is stable. The competition is kind of weak, okay? But not only just retail, and you see here the leisure and hospitality is pretty huge here, okay? You see that? But not only that, self-employment opportunity, which this article doesn't really go into, but self-employment opportunity out here in Texas it's really astonishing. I'm not saying there's a lack of accountability, but it's a lot easier to learn a skill, do it well, and make money. So Houston, I feel like, again, it's just really easy to breathe out here, so that's the job market. Okay, super stable. Number 4, I'm going to have to go with Southern hospitality. But look at these hate articles. Okay, I'm pulling up this hate article. Look at this. So much for Southern hospitality. Texas ranked one of the least kind states in the country. But here's what I could tell you. That's not true, okay? There's a lot of Texans that are prideful, that don't want people from other states moving here because they feel like people from other states maybe have a lack of integrity, or whatever their views are. But what I could tell you is I have definitely noticed the hospitality out here is absolutely refreshing. There's still a lot of people with, I guess, a good old-fashioned Southern beliefs, or just that Southern ethics, or whatever you would call it. So the Southern hospitality is absolutely great out here. I really love it for that. There's good people that I just wasn't used to living in California, but Texas definitely has that, pretty well. Now, number 5, and here's what's really amazing about Texas and Houston, the freedoms. Okay, it's ranked number 21 overall, but reading this article, I believe it's ranked 21 just because it goes into the crime. There's a lot of law enforcement out here. But if you don't commit crime, that could help you. But it's ranked number 21. And here's what I can tell you: the land use laws out here are amazing. The freedom for land use, the economic freedoms, your gun rights out here. There is so much freedom out here in Houston and in Texas overall. It is a really, really wonderful place to live. Now, here's the thing, you guys. Overall, here's my opinion. Here's my conclusion, okay? Now, if you want to live somewhere like in Southern California that has the beach, that's nice year-round, beautiful mountains, desert, all these different types of climates like that, Southern California is amazing, but you're going to pay dearly, and it's a really high, speed, type of lifestyle. So as beautiful as Southern California is, and it is where I was born and raised, and I do, that is home. I love Houston. And Texas and Houston fits my lifestyle so much more, with the freedoms, with the cost of living, with the ability to wake up and say, I want to work hard and I want to make more money for my family. And I have support from the community, from the government. I have good people all around. I just, overall, and maybe I'm biased because I have a family. It's a young family. I love it out here. This is a great place to raise a family. This is a great place to just be comfortable where you live, and just grow and do what you need to do. So overall, I absolutely love it here. But I'm going to conclude that, y'all. I just wanted to give you a quick snippet of the top 5 pros and cons. If you can, like this video, like the video right now if you can. If you like this content, subscribe to my channel. Go through this journey with me. I'm going to go through a lot more topics, and I hope you guys tune in with me. And I appreciate all the hospitality, and I hope you guys find value in this. And we'll talk to you soon. Ending broadcast now.